special meeting, our preliminary determination hearing, and then at the conclusion of that, we'll roll into our regular board meeting. So with this one, I'd like to call to order the special board meeting preliminary determination hearing. Let's see. I will give an explanation. I'll allow, if anyone doesn't want to stay for our regular board discussion meeting, you're free to leave. We'll give you a few moments to leave. And thank you for being here this evening. Thank you for all your help on this project. It should be a very exciting thing for the Portage Township Schools and the community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And close the public hearing, but you need to adjourn that meeting too.
Okay. All right, as I was just reminded by our attorney, we need to close that meeting. So with that, I'd like to, I'll adjourn the special meeting for board and project determination.
Know how to clear a room.
Yeah. Okay, at this time, I'd like to call to order our Monday, August 12th, 2024 school board discussion meeting. We will begin this meeting with our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God. Thank you for everyone who's staying with us and your patience as we get to this meeting. I do want to mention that Trustee Smith was unable to be with us this evening, and we do have Trustee Dr. Finley with us remotely for the meeting. We do have registration to address the board on any of the actionable items on our agenda. If anyone would like to speak on any of the agenda items before we take action, please come to the board table, fill out a form and return it to the board table, and we will bring you up at that time. We also have public comment at the end of our meeting, something that we've always done. If anyone has anything on their mind they'd like to discuss with the board, the same process, just fill out the form at the board table, return it, and we would be happy to bring you up and allow you that opportunity to speak to the board. All members of the board were provided background information on the items on our agenda in preparation for this meeting, and our meeting is being live streamed, and as always, we welcome those who are viewing us remotely through the live stream link. To begin our meeting, we don't have any student staff presentations unless, do we have any introductions or anything you'd like to do this evening?
We do, maybe after the personnel report?
Okay, we can do that then.
Okay.
Very good, thank you. Are there any adjustments to the agenda from the board?
Oh.
If not, we'll move on to our superintendent's consent agenda, which has got our approval of the personnel report for August the 13th, our donation report, facility use request report. Do we have a motion to approve the superintendent's consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve. Second?
We have the motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call roll, please.
Trustee Maleta.
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez.
Yes.
Trustee Wilkie.
Yes.
Trustee Finley, yes.
Okay, Dr. Alanis, would you have an introduction you'd like to do?
I do. In the audience this evening, we have Miss Dillon, Mrs. Dillon, who is our new principal at Jones Elementary School. She comes to us from our dear colleagues in Hammond as an assistant principal previously at Scott Middle School. She's also been an instructional and data coach, a mentor and middle school English language arts teacher, and also an elementary teacher. So she has a significant deal of experience and a vast background, and she does have a special guest with her.
So I'm going to ask you to come up to the podium and give you an opportunity to tell us a little bit about yourself and introduce your special guest.
Good evening. Thank you, Superintendent, Board President, and Board Trustees. I appreciate this opportunity. I am humbled by the opportunity to serve the Jones community. I have been in education for a while. My former job was the assistant principal at Scott Middle School. That is a school of 7th and 8th graders, about 750 students. My special guest is my husband. His name is James Dillon. But I thank you. I have been excited to observe and see. I think there are great things happening in Portage, and I'm glad to be aboard. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Anybody have anything for our new principal?
I would like to welcome you. I know that we're excited about all of the experience that you bring to our students and our community, and looking forward to hearing wonderful and great things from you, about you, and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
You must have made a great impression, because Dr. Allen has gushed all over you. She sent us the memo with your resume. So welcome to Portage, and look forward to having you here for a long time.
And you can also go home. As Dr. Stevens and I told you, family is important. Feel free to head home. We know you guys have a drive still.
Yeah, don't feel obligated to stay. You're fine.
I think James was halfway out of his seat.
A lot, so it could be long. Okay, next we'll move on to our board's consent agenda, which has got the meeting minutes of our regular discussion board meeting from July 22nd. Do we have a motion to approve the board's consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call roll, please.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Trustee Wilkie?
Yes.
Trustee Bentley, yes. Trustee Maleta?
Yes. Okay, now we have our board development. Are there any board reports this evening?
I do. The Redevelopment Commission met on July the 25th. Some of the items that were on the agenda included the consideration of providing the commissioners 3 working sessions during the next several months. I'm really looking forward to that. We're going to be discussing the topics of the Portage Library, and the education program. The dates and location are to be determined at a later date. Also discussed was the education grant for the worker training program. Applications must be submitted by the educational organizations and districts in this area. They are interested in providing students with work-related training opportunities. In the past, some districts who were recipients replaced, just giving a couple of examples of what they did with the grant, they replaced technology equipment, or some sent students to visit college campuses, just to name a few of the examples. The application will now include a rubric, as I had requested, to make that process a little bit more clear. There's also an interested company possibly coming to our city. I will have that information ready for you to report. The landscaping maintenance contracts were also discussed, as well as the AmeriCorps proposal that was included, and the Founders Square masonry maintenance. The next meeting will be held this Thursday, the 22nd at 4:30 at City Hall. Also keep in mind that all are encouraged to attend, and these meetings are also live streamed. That's my report.
Great, thank you. Dr. Finley, do you have a report for us this evening?
Absolutely. And this is kind of a follow-up to our meeting that we had last month when we were discussing the academic diplomas for the state of Indiana. There is a lot of backlash right now in the state of Indiana regarding these diplomas. It is not going well. There are several universities who have spoken out in opposition of this change in diploma, and I believe we have until December 31st to react and respond, or for really the legislators and the Department of Education specifically to take action. The challenge here, I think, or the opportunity, I won't call it a challenge, is really our teachers did sound the alarm on this early on. But now that we have our university presidents speaking up as well, there may be some momentum that comes as a reaction or as a result of this. So I'll keep you all posted as we're hearing things, and I'm sure Dr. Allenez and Dr. Stevens are very close to this topic as well. That's all I have. Thank you.
Great, thank you. I have just a quick report from the Portage Park Board. We've welcomed a new park director of parks. Her name is Kelly Smith. She's already hit the ground running in her first couple of weeks and really working hard with our maintenance crews, trying to catch up on a lot of work that's been laxed in for a period of time. And I think she's going to do great things, and I know she's going to be willing and happy to work with the school system. I think when we get an opportunity, and maybe at some point as she gets her feet wet a little bit, we'll invite her to a meeting and allow everyone an opportunity to meet her. Because obviously our parks and our schools and city all need to work closely together, and I think everyone will like her. Trustee Wilkie and I had lunch with her today to talk to her about parks things, and it's an exciting time for the parks to, there were some tough shoes to fill over the last few years, and I think we've got a really good one now, so thank you. Okay, we do not have any old business. Under new business, we have the approval of the meal pricing for the school year 2024-2025. Dr. Alanis?
So I'm very pleased to recommend, and I did, of course, allow Melissa Devers to put this out, fully knowing that I would ask your retroactive approval to recommend approving the renewal of the additional 3 years of the community eligibility provision, which is our program that allows all children to eat free of charge breakfast and lunch. As you know, this has been a significant asset to the community, and they continue to just be very grateful for it. Kids' bellies are full before going to class, and they're also eating there, obviously, at lunchtime. Previous to this, our debt was $86,000 plus, because we, when it came to you, the board, actually in this very room years back, and wished not to give supplemental meals when children have a debt. We will take that badge of honor and take on that debt as needed, but anytime that we can qualify for the community eligibility provision, we want to continue to do that. So I'm asking for your renewal of the 3 years. I'm also asking for an increase to the adult meal price, $2.85 for breakfast and $5 for lunch. Still very affordable.
Great, thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the meal pricing for the school year 2024-2025?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
We have the motion and a second. Any discussion?
I also learned that students who participate in the school meals program, they consume more whole grains, milk, fruits, and vegetables. There's also a benefit, which is better attendance rate, fewer missed school days, and better test scores. So it's a win-win
It is a
for
win-win.
all.
There's no doubt.
And we certainly know in these days with the rising costs of things, and this is a great thing for our families and for our kids, for the kids to get that nourishment that they need throughout the day to help them carry through, as well as the summer meal program that we've done this summer as well, which compliments to our food service folks for their hard work
Yes.
on that as well.
I also appreciate how the staff has had input from students about what they prefer to be on the menu, with, of course,
Yeah.
limits. And
It does, it makes an
considerations.
impact, and they're and our food service team is very driven by best practices in their field. And one of those being the idea that our students they find it appealing to see almost like that convenience store look. So when you come in the main entrances and you see like this rack where they're able to select off of there, it's more appealing than, some other instances. Some students just aren't interested in being in the cafeteria in the morning. They're worried about getting to class, so being able to just grab and go is really a good thing. There's a lot of thought going into it, and I'll have some further statistics for you on what we served this summer in meals, as well as the increase. And you'll be shocked, our breakfast increase and our lunch increase. But I will also tell you that it will never be high enough of a percentage. We always continue to go after it. I believe principals got an email this week. Let's continue to increase those numbers. It is offer versus serve, which is a great thing because when you're talking about those items on those carts, when that's appropriate and allowed to be done, because not all kids want that milk. You know, when you used to have to take it, now it has to be offered, but if they don't want it, they don't have to take it.
I just remember it so well, being at a meeting several years ago when we heard from our, that time, food service director that kids who didn't have their lunch money with them, who may have had the regular meal in their hands, they threw that meal away and gave them a supplemental meal. And it brought most of us on the board to tears and anger at the same time. And I appreciate Dr. Allen, as I know that was the first you had heard of that too at that time. And the action that you've taken over the years of eliminating the supplemental meals, making sure kids weren't embarrassed by that and not making a big deal about if they didn't have their money, to where we are today, and compliments to Don Kelly for this program and where we are now. It's just miles away. And you know, as I look at my term on this board, if there's anything that I'm more proud of that we were able to accomplish, it's feeding our kids. Yeah, because, I mean, it chokes me up right now thinking about what was happening before, and I know that happens at other school districts, and it's just, it's a terrible thing, and I'm just so proud of what our district's been able to do for our kids. And it just always shows kids are first at Portage Township Schools over and over again. We know that that's what everyone's here for, and I appreciate from the bottom of my heart all the hard work that went into these type of programs.
Thank you. You know, I think the biggest takeaway here is food insecurity is not something that's always visible. I had a conversation just over the weekend with one of our teachers who has 4 children of her own in the district, and come from a home where there are 2 working parents. Not having that cost of the 4 children eating 2 meals a day at school, or having to pack those lunches, has been a significant savings for them, just because of what, you know, even in their household, what the costs have been for groceries in general. So, you know, that happens all over the place, and so no food shaming for any kid. You just get up there and you are absolutely welcomed to have the meal of your choice. The fact that we have more than one option, I think it's a true testament, as you said, Mr. Maletta. There's been a lot of effort and work done on this, and I appreciate that the board has been so supportive, especially when it was taking on debt to ensure that we were not food shaming. That was something that was unheard of.
And so students are still, if they choose to, bring their own lunch.
Yes.
And what do we do for students who have the allergies to certain foods?
We have over 700 students with food allergies. We have a significant program in place. I shadowed one day a couple years ago, one morning at breakfast at Kyle with Miss Dana, Miss Cece, several other great ladies in the cafeteria, and it was some significant allergies where food preparation has to be done in a separate location, completely sealed up, anything airborne, all of these things. So it was to really get a firsthand look at the preparation that goes into play, but also the professional development and the absolute fail-proof that's been put in place so that our kids can have all of their dietary needs met specific to allergies. I know that there have also been questions, and this has been a great option, where we have students who do not consume any meat products, and there are always opportunities that you can take those items, although it's more of a dietary, it may be due to an allergy, but it may not be. It may just be preference. They can take all of the other options. So again, there's a lot of value in the offer versus serve, and the ability to save on waste, the ability for kids to be able to more focus on what they like to eat instead of, you know, being forced to eat the green beans if it's not their thing. But yeah, the allergies is huge, but they've got it under control. It's I could not believe the operation that they have to have in place. It's pretty great.
Great. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, call roll, please.
Trustee Wilkie?
Yes.
Trustee Finley, yes. Trustee Maleta?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Okay, next up, we've got our approval to extend the fuel contract.
So this would be an effective period of October 21 through September 30th. That was the original contract period. My recommendation is to extend this for an additional 6 months per our bid. Our transportation director, Danielle Tate, is very pleased with the services, as is the finance department with the billing. And the vendor has agreed to extend the contract through March 31st of 2025.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve to extend our fuel contract?
I make a motion to approve to extend the fuel contract.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, call roll, please.
Trustee Finley, yes. Trustee Maleta?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Trustee Wilkie?
Yes.
Next, we have our approval of contracts and service agreement subscriptions. We've got Power School, e-finance, Communications Department for Parent Square, and for the IT Department, the Incident IQ. Did I miss one?
8.03.
Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. We'll back up. We have our approval of our MOU with the Hub Coalition.
Yes. So this is an MOU between the Portage Police, the County Sheriff's Department, and the Hub Coalition of Porter County alongside Portage Township Schools to focus on a notification of the school system by law enforcement when a child is exposed to trauma in the home or in the community that allows the child's school to handle that child with care upon their return to school on the next day of attendance following the incident. The phrase exposed to trauma is construed broadly and can obviously be a way of example, not limitation to what is the concern. The importance here is, of course, this is a confidential agreement with all of us, and although I will tell you that this is something due to the strong relationships the schools already have in place with our law enforcement agencies and the county. It's just another great example of how all of us coming together to provide that network for kids and families so that they are truly handled with care.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the MOU for the Hub Coalition?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions?
I would just like to say that there are so many of our children and their families that experience trauma that need this additional support. We know that children that experience trauma and, situations that happen to them at home, they have a hard time learning. It affects their learning. So I'm looking forward to having this partnership.
Yes.
And again, doing what is best for our children. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'd also like to add, thank you, Dr. Elenez, because I really took the time to look through this, exposed to trauma, the definitions. I mean, they cover it all just about.
Yes.
And we know that it's going to be continuously probably updated as we come across new things.
Yes.
My question is, are there other districts in Porter County participating in this? Or is this a pilot specifically with our school district?
There are other districts as well that will be participating in this, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that was my only question. Thank you.
And I do want to just mention, because this is more of a specific thing that I think is important for everyone to know, our families in particular throughout the community, when it talks about the various ways that trauma is, students are experiencing trauma, it is not to say that through this agreement that we are learning of all of the ins and outs of the situation. We are learning that they've experienced trauma, but this is not to further expose the child's trauma and share more information in detail than is necessary. So I just want to clarify that, because I think it's important that we are always cognizant that when children have trauma, we may just need to know, hey, there's trauma, and not any detail. That is a real crucial piece here, because You know, if we are handling all kids with care, especially knowing that they're going through something, sometimes that's all we need to know at that moment.
I agree 1,000%. And you just led me to think about another question. How will you all, or how will we as a district market this so that parents are clear about the expectations about handling with care? But because you're right, regardless of whatever partnership or not, we should be handling all kids with care all the time.
Right. You know, let me think through that, because that's a really good question and something I've not really thought through with the team to make certain that there is that significant understanding that this is a matter of another safety net, not exposing a family's trauma unnecessarily. Just simply making people aware that experiences have occurred that may cause some learning difficulty or some special care needed for a time being or a longer period of time with resources. So I can get back to you on that.
No, thank you.
So also during your discussion, my concern is if, for example, the child is in need of services, which would be counseling or interventions, and the families do not give consent, how would that child still receive some kind of services, or it would just be,
It wouldn't.
you can't, I understand that you have to have parental
The only other way
consent.
would be to go through if it got bad enough to have to go through the juvenile court
Yeah.
system.
Or child services.
And fortunately, I will tell you that Dr. Stevens and I revisited the importance of bringing all community partners together regularly. Juvenile services and Geminis and all of these different community members that have supports that can be offered to families. And our goal is to always reach out as proactive as we can, and also allow that two-way communication with our behaviorists, our social workers, our school advisors, counselors. That's a real critical piece in building that connection and relationship with families. And I will say that most times, I can't even honestly think of any, families are not only willing, but grateful for all the ways there's opportunities to partner and have a resource for their child, especially when we're able to offer it within the school day. Families just need resources during the time that the kids are at school.
Great. If there's no further questions or discussion, call the roll, please.
Trustee Maleta?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes?
Trustee Wilkie?
Yes.
Trustee Finley, yes.
Okay, next we'll move on to our contracts and service agreements. We've got the Finance HR Department for Power School e-Finance software subscription, Communication Partner Department for Parent Square Communication Platform, and the IT for Incident IQ Asset Management software subscription.
Yes. So what you have in front of you for these particular items, the 1-year subscription for the HR department with e-finance software, that is $72,737.42 through the operations fund. The communications department, this is a subscription for 1 year in the amount of $30,248.35 out of operations. And this is how, as you all know, we communicate with all families from the classroom level and up through the district level. And then the IT department, they manage all of our software subscriptions and make sure that students have the appropriate things on their devices, teachers as well, all of that. This is also a 1 year for the cost of $28,743.45. Additionally, as the other two mentioned, operations fund will cover this.
Thank you. Do you have a motion to approve the contracts?
I make a motion to approve the contracts.
Second.
We have a motion to second. Attorney Elwood, as always, have you had an opportunity to review the contracts?
Yeah, I've previously reviewed these.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, call roll, please.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes?
Trustee Wilkie?
Yes.
Trustee Finley, yes. Trustee Maleta?
Yes. Next, we have our approval of the MOU with the Boys and Girls Club.
So yes, we have continued our collaboration with the Boys and Girls Club, and they came to us with an exciting opportunity that is exclusive at this point in time for a grant with Portage Township Schools. And they are wanting to enter the MOU attached here. I did ask some members of our team, Dr. Stevens, Linda Williams, and others, to meet with the Boys and Girls Club recently. They are wanting to submit a grant for a 21st Century Community Learning Center that would be out of school time, a program specific to students within Portage Township Schools. This is just an understanding of the implementation of the MOU contingent upon the funding received. And that would be within the Boys and Girls Club, their particular grant submission from the Indiana Department of Education. And we are analyzing both behavioral and academic data that would then further enhance the ability to develop a program based on specific student needs if the grant is awarded.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the MOU with the Boys and Girls Club?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions?
I understand that the program is going to include academics in terms of reading and math and also enrichment activities. Do you know if there's going to be any focus on SEL, social emotional learning?
Yes, I do know that there will be a component of social emotional learning because we are analyzing the data specific to why different infractions are occurring, how we look at functional behavior, what we're finding in the classrooms, and then they will assist us in helping support students outside of the academic day to address some of those behaviors as well, of course, in collaboration with their parents and a signed agreement that we can share any information. Similar to what we do with other after-school programs, but there is a component.
Okay, good, thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, call roll, please.
I'm here. Sorry.
Okay.
Technology. I did have a question before we call roll. Just
Yes.
really quick. And it's really a comment. It is possible for them to come back to us as a board to share with us how many kids that they're servicing and supporting at each school.
Yes, I think that this would be another opportunity to bring them on board to report out, like when we do our annual performance report, when we talk about the diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now, I know we do that 3 times yearly, but, that maybe that final year end or something, they would come on board. So yeah, we could absolutely put those into the board calendars. I can work with Mrs. Langren and we can make sure that happens.
Thank you so much. Sorry, Andy.
No, thank you.
All righty. Trustee Wilkie?
Yes.
Trustee Finley, yes. Trustee Maleta?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes,
And lastly, we have our approval of a contract for ClassLink.
So I want to be very open about this particular contract is a 3-year contract. And as you know, and as the board has continued to implement as much as possible 1-year contracts. In certain situations, I do try to recommend a 3-year. In this situation, I would recommend it on a few different levels. The first is that it is a cost savings, but it is also a product that comes with a significant amount of quality feedback from school districts throughout our region and state. And additionally, our instructional technology director utilized this in his previous district, and our tech director also is in agreement that it's necessary. So ClassLink is a streamlined rostering solution. We want to make it easier for our users, that would be teachers, students, administrators, to access the digital resources with one login credential. And it will help reduce login problems, saves their instructional time. It comes with advanced features also to safeguard our data, which has been obviously something that districts need to continue to increase and enhance. It integrates with our current systems, it improves efficiency and teacher collaboration, teaching, collaboration, and communication amongst users. And it will eventually be a considerable cost savings, ultimately just with the labor intensiveness of other programming and the long term of having the 3-year. So I will tell you that there are some additional features I'm really excited to share once we get this off the ground, but it is a significant undertaking and something that I would greatly appreciate. And I will tell you that I'm asking for you to retroactively approve this because it was really at a point that we needed it. Now, the part that is on the table really is that 3-year.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve the contract with ClassLink, the 3-year contract.
I make a motion to approve the contract with ClassLink.
A second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, call roll, please.
Trustee Finley, yes. Trustee Maleta?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes?
And Trustee Wilkie?
Okay, next up, we have our superintendent report. Dr. Alanis.
I want to thank our Buildings and Grounds Department, our custodial crew this summer, maintenance team this summer, the HVAC mechanical upgrades, flooring improvements at Central, Chrisman, and Sailor. Those remained on schedule. I want to thank our teachers, our support staff, because they've had to be very flexible as they were not able to get into their rooms. And although they're grateful for the upgrades, it comes at a significant amount of undertaking for them to pack up and then to unpack. So I want to thank everyone for that. The PHS LED lighting replacement project is still something that's been a great addition, not only for exterior building, the parking lots lighting to be on a control, but also the 2nd and 3rd floor classrooms and hallways, and also West Gym were completed. The PHS auditorium lighting upgrades, the new LED lamps have been installed so that the fixtures, once we receive them as they're being ordered, can be also installed. This is about a 6 to 9 month lead time. Administration building, the boardroom, the painting is complete. I can't wait for our next meeting to be housed there. Installation of the new carpet completed just last Thursday, I believe, and we can use it by the end of this coming week, or this week. Fire alarm testing is in process. I believe that would finish up today or tomorrow. Kyle painting project in the gym was completed, and our elementary schools have all been remulched at the playground. So thanks to the crews. I mean, you look at the floor here, and again, Willow Creek being the building that it is, our oldest facility, and our team really does a great job maintaining something that is pretty difficult overall to maintain when you're talking about the aging of the facility. I also just want to, I'm going to bring stats for you, but I cannot thank enough the food service team, the huge undertaking of the 5-day meal bags at the park as well as the other sites. I also can't tell you not only how that distribution takes a lot of team effort, but the coordination is really, really detailed. When our food service director, Dawn, reached out to me, and the one struggle they were having, she was able to fix with Mile's help, which was to get a box truck, but then lifting all of those coolers in and out and all of that. So I want to also thank the maintenance team because they were behind the scenes alongside our food service team, helping with all of that heavy lifting. Now, again, all the things that were done in the Buildings and Grounds Department, there was never an excuse made that something didn't get accomplished because they were helping another department to feed children. And I think that really is a testament to that team under Mile and his supervision, that we're putting our students first at all times, and that includes if that means we need to stop and help feed our kids. So that food service team, I can't thank them enough. It's been hot. It's been a lot for them, and I plan to also bring that summer team to you, because I think you seeing the faces behind all of this is a great thing. I also wanted to mention to you that principals are currently filling out an open invite for the board. I know that the board really does enjoy having opportunities to celebrate children, to celebrate what's going on, achievement wise for our kids, and just be part of the overall experience of educating kids in Portage. So as they have events, it may be a back-to-school popsicle, a popsicle night or a carnival night or something. I know that they are starting to fill those out. I will share those invites with you, because I know that, of course, you are more than available at these meetings, but you also enjoy having the opportunities to do those other things. So I will get that invite schedule sent out to you, and I'm asking them to send that to me quarterly so that you have some advance notice on that. I do believe that's all I have, other than letting you know, August 15th, I'm on the Superintendent Legislative Committee for the Superintendents Association, so I will be out as we're working with other associations on legislative priorities in this upcoming budget that we can speak to legislators about. And the Behavior Commission that I'm on as well will be meeting within the next week or two at the state level.
Great, thank you.
Oh, and I apologize, yes. August 13th, that would be tomorrow, is our all-staff back-to-school meeting, 8:30 a.m.
Great.
So we're welcome to attend.
You are more than welcome to
Okay.
attend, yes.
Can you also tell us about, is it Kevin Dill that is going to be providing professional development?
Sure. So we have worked with Mrs. Williams in our grants and assessments, and Stephanie Barrett, who is our director for multi-tiered systems of support. I know that Dessa and Sean are both in the audience, who are executive members of the PAT team, and just today when meeting with Dessa, she had even mentioned the appreciation for listening to our teachers about the importance of focusing on behavior training. And so Kevin he met one half day with our new teachers, correct? He met one half day with all of us as administrators, talking from that building perspective. And then he just this morning met with our behaviorists and our school advisors, this afternoon with our secondary teachers, and tomorrow after our opening meeting, he'll be meeting with all elementary teachers. The great thing then is he will be creating opportunities there. He will be boots on the ground in our buildings. Teachers can invite him in. He will be doing a debrief with teachers about the behaviors that now are just visible throughout our nation. And how do we proactively address these things so that kids can learn appropriate replacement behavior? We can find ways to appropriately address what we would prefer the behavior to be, rather than unintentionally reinforce behavior that isn't productive. So that will be happening. We have a series. He will be coming in again to different buildings, debriefing with teachers, then debriefing with principals, just observing. And he is just a great, he is a behavior specialist, but he has been a classroom teacher. He has been a principal. And what it comes down to is his big focus is connection before correction. Have to connect with our students in order to get behaviors that we are looking to see in their daily occurrences. So it's so far been very well received, and I anticipate that continuing. I'll make sure to update you.
Are we fully staffed?
We may have a one or two here or there, but it is very far and few between. We had about 15 teachers new to the district that did come for the new teacher trainings, and then we have had less than a handful of resignations since that point in time.
Any other questions for Dr. Alanis?
So our students are coming back on Wednesday, and we're excited. I know the teachers are working hard to make sure that they're ready, and I remember not being able to sleep for a couple evenings before school started, just because I was so excited.
Yes.
And I know that happens every year.
I think they're all tired and excited.
And I still think we're starting too early. Just saying. I'll never get off of that. You know I won't.
I got you 1 week, couldn't get the 2, but we'll try. We'll keep trying.
Try again.
I heard that in the grocery store yesterday, too.
Yeah, I hear it all the time. Okay, if no one has anything else, I do not believe we received any public comment forms, so I'll give you one more chance. Anybody would like to address the board? If not, again, our next meeting is, let me see, when is it? It's August the 26th at 5 p.m., and that'll be at Portage High School in the L3 lab. And in the meantime, just want to wish all of you a very successful and enjoyable school year. Every year we get one further away from COVID, so hopefully some of that stuff will start to wear off. And I know it's an exciting time for everybody in the buildings, and again, we're excited for the new school year and wish you all well.
Thank you.
With that, this meeting's adjourned. Thank you.